Hi again VC, this is Beth here, and this is my second video of the same evening. This one I just thought I would get in quick because it was quite easy for me to pull a few out. This is a response thread to Mr. Dan Powers, Mr. Cassette King over in Canada. Dan is running he put up a thread starter last week, and it's called Gimme Fuel, Gimme 5, and he wants you to show 5 albums from bands that you have in your collection that you have not listened to for at least 2 years. And I think he was inspired initially by the 50 albums challenge that is going around as well in the vinyl community just now, which was started by channel 33 RPM. That one is obviously quite a big one. You have to pick out 50 albums from your collection that you've not heard and you've not listened to in at least a couple of years, I think. But for myself, I had thought about that one, but I'm not going to go with that one because, for a similar reason to Metal Mickey, as he stated, my collection is, for the most part, quite new. I've only really got back into collecting vinyl in the last year, about a year, and vinyl and CDs, so I doubt I would have had 50 albums to go through, never mind to pick, to listen to out of what I had. My collection, I would say it's still fairly small, but it's the biggest it's ever been for myself, and it's grown quite steadily. Perhaps it's grown a little too quickly for my bank balance, but you know, we'll just move on for that. But meanwhile, so this, we'll go with the 5 albums, which I can do, and for the most part, for me, they're going to be CDs I'm showing mostly, because I kept more CDs, I had more CDs in my old collection from back in the day than vinyl, because I grew up when CDs went into the boom. So I switched from vinyl to CDs at a fairly young age, so I had more CDs than records. However, I do have 2 vinyl records I can show, so we'll get started. I think I've got 6. Well, I've got 2 for the same band, so 2 for the price of 1, and 1, 2, 3, 6 CDs, so you're getting 7 altogether, I guess, here that I thought I would just show. So first one up that I have not listened to in at least 2 years, it's going to be longer, I think, to be honest, and it's Slippery When Wet from Bon Jovi. This is my original album from back in the day. The main reason is you hear You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, and Wanted Dead or Alive constantly on the radio, and it's at the stage now where I'm almost sick of hearing them, and so I've just not really wanted to go and put the album on. Similar reasons for this one too, New Jersey. I love the album. I think this is my favourite over Slippery. But again, there's just songs on it that I've heard so often, and I'm kind of just not really overly in the mood. You know, I know the songs so well, I don't really feel, oh, I'm wanting to listen to that again. So these 2 Bon Jovi albums, probably their 2 biggest albums, maybe. Another big album is Appetite for Destruction. I think somebody else showed this somewhere recently. Oh, John showed it in his John showed it in one of his top 10 videos and called it Use Your Illusion as well. That was funny. But yeah, Appetite for Destruction. I pretty much have no desire to ever play this in the near future, because same reasons. certain songs, the big hits have been played to death, and some of the other songs, for me, this was not one of the most amazing albums ever released. It was great, yeah, it was a good album. It was a little bit different, and some great songs on it, but it's not something I lived or died by, to be honest. I do like Night Train, I do like Rocket Queen, anything goes, Out to Get, it's, just... But yeah, I mean, it's going to stay in the collection. It has memories. I do recall the actual Sunday afternoon listening to Bruno Brooks churn out the UK Top 40, and he announced that Paradise City was at number 6, I think it peaked at in the UK charts. And I just remember kind of dancing about the living room floor when he played it. Yeah. Next one, this was a blind buy when I bought this album, and it's kind of a compilation. It came out in 1993, yeah, on Elektra. The Georgia Satellites Let It Rock, the best of it is, and it's got 20 tracks on it. And this, as I say, was a blind buy. I'd never heard of them really before, and I thought, well, it looks and it sounds hard rock or rock and roll kind of stuff, and yeah, it's kind of there's a hint of the southern rock or a hint of country rock a little bit in there, but they are kind of hard rock, I think, and I loved this. Pretty much every song on here is good fun. Some of the lyrics are funny as well. But I played it loads and loads of times. There's a couple of anthem type songs. Battleship Chains is a great song, I think. So yeah, but as I say, I've not listened to this in a long time, so I think this one I will put on soon. Another big album, Metallica's The Black Album. This is the only well, it's not, I tell a lie. I do have another couple of Metallica albums, but they're waiting to still be listened to. But this is the only Metallica album I ever actually went out and bought back in the day for full price out of a record shop. So 1991, wasn't it? Yeah. I quite like some of the songs on here. I probably like this because of the more commercial style of it. Because I know a lot of die-hard fans don't like it for that reason, but there's good songs on it, but because thrash is not my favourite style, is kind of why I don't listen to it very often, so it's been sat on the shelf for a while. Another album I've not listened to in donkeys is Houses of the Holy by the Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin. This has got 8 tracks on it, but yeah, the song remains the same. The Rain Song, What the Hell's So Far Away, The Crunch, Dancing These Deer, Maker, No Quarter, The Ocean, 1973. It's been a while. This one is the only Kiss album I own, and it was Crazy Crazy Nights that got me out buying the album. I really quite enjoy, for the most part, this album. There's 1 or 2 songs that are a bit naff, if you like, but again, I played it quite a lot back in the day. It's not been played in quite a while. I may just put this on and give it a spin. And another one which I will be putting back on is Tesla's Mechanical Resonance. Resonance. 1986. This was their debut album. Great album, great band. Coming At You Live is actually one of my favourite tracks. It's just such a good song. But then, there's lots of good songs that Tesla churn out. And again, I just haven't had this on for quite a long time, so I'm going to rectify that too. So that's my 5 or 7, if you like. Gimme fuel, gimme 5. So that's my response to Dan's thread. If you don't know Dan, then you need to rectify that by subscribing. You'll find a link to his channel below. He is a big cassette collector, but he also collects CDs and records. But he's a lovely guy, another great hard rock metal fan in the vinyl community, and I love to see his cassettes, because cassettes are the kind of the outsider, if you like, compared to the CDs and the records, but the cassettes have their place as well in life, and the time thing. They were very important, and I think they deserve love. Right, I shall catch us all later. Bye the now.